10. That is correct, but they didn't hear you. Yes.
The bridge will be set up over the hellfire.
Yes, that is number 10. That is correct. Group number 2, number 11. Yes, yes, yes. And number 12, group 3. The believers will enter into paradise. Very good. Any questions? Any questions? Yes. Right.
And number 9 is the believer will stand in front of his Lord.
Correct.
I thought that the believer will stand in front of his Lord and represent himself.
No, remember we said that we have muhasatul kufar, and basically the people will be basically purified of all disbelievers. The only people remaining are the believers. Then after this, the pond. Because the only people who approach the pond is who? Believers. After that, what? These books get spread out, and the scrolls get rolled out. So that's what? And muhasabah. Muhasabah meaning. And this is where the believer will be brought in front of his Lord without any interpreter. And he'll basically, didn't you do this, didn't you do this, didn't you do this? You guys remember that? Okay. All set? Any questions? Fadlan.
What is the non-Muslim being questioned by Allah? Why is the non-Muslim being questioned by Allah?
Ibn Taymiyyah, he said the reason why the non-Muslim is in question is because he has no good deeds. So if his deeds are presented, it will just be what? A presentation. This is what you did to the hellfire with you, like that. Because the believer has no, the disbeliever has no good deeds to be what? To be weighed. Do you understand? The believer has what? Good deeds, and he has bad deeds. So those deeds are what? Weighed.
But what if someone like in their entire life he didn't like commit any great sin, like murder someone?
Hey.
So will he be sent to hell?
Now, the disbelievers, you have those disbelievers who the Messenger of Islam reached them. Okay? And the Prophet has told us what will happen to the people who the Messenger of Islam reached them. He said, مَا مَنْ يُهُدِيًّا وَلَا نَصْرَانِيًّا سَمِعَ بِي وَلَمْ يُؤْمِنْ بِي إِلَّا وَدَخْلَ النَّارِ. He said, there's not a Jew or a Christian who heard about me and didn't accept that he will be what? In the hellfire. And when we heard about him, the Messenger of Islam actually reached him. Not that he heard the word Muhammad. No. But somebody talked to him and explained to him, or enough information was given to him where he what? If he didn't accept, it was because of his own negligence and his own disregard for the truth. Do you understand? Then you have those disbelievers who they never had any clue or any indication about what? About Islam. And Allah will not repress them. Allah will not oppress them. Rather, Allah will do what? He will test them on the Day of Judgment. If they pass the test, they'll be allowed to enter the paradise. If they fail the test, they'll do what? Enter into the what? The fire. Because if they reject on that day, it shows that they certainly would have rejected when? In this life. Does that answer your question, Abdullah? طيب تفضل يا شيخ.
I have a question about the division. You said that most of the Christians and most of the Jews will go
Right.
to each one will stay behind.
Right.
So why is that?
Because if you remember in the beginning, a cry will cry out. Let everyone who worships something follow what he worshipped. So now there's some people, for example, the sun, the salib, the cross. Not all Christians worship the cross. Not all Christians have the same belief. Do you understand? There will be some Christians who will what? Muwahidun. Okay, and they will remain with who? The believers. They never associated Isa as a partner. They never associated the salib as a partner. They never had any of these deviant beliefs. So each person in the Christian religion worships what? Something. And they'll be made to follow what they worship. And then some Christians will remain, and they'll be asked about who they worshipped. And they'll say, we worshipped Isa, the son of Maryam. So those people we bought were moved. You see that? That's how it basically works. They'll be divided based upon who they worship. And because they have different denominations, different beliefs, not all of them worship the same thing. With me? Like, any other questions? If they go through the Sirat, we said whoever crosses the Sirat will go to paradise.
But why do they stop after?
Because we said liqtisas. Because some Muslims, they slandered other Muslims. Some Muslims, they go ahead.
When all the deeds have finished.
What do you mean their deeds have finished?
So when we stop, when we go to heaven?
Because Allah will not let the believers go into paradise and they have what? Ghil. They have animosity, tension or hatred toward what? Their other Muslim brothers. They have to be purified of all this. They have to enter into paradise in a completely pure state. They have no hard feelings or ill feelings toward their brother Muslim. How can this happen when he oppressed me? He oppressed me. I remember he oppressed me. Okay, so we have to sort this out. We have to resolve this somehow. So we have to make amends. He has to do something to satisfy you. But now there's no dirham, there's no dinar. There's no gold and silver. He took your money in this life. There's no way he can give you your money back now. How does he have to repay you? Deeds. You say, okay, what's the benefit? We're going to all go to paradise. There's different what? Levels of paradise. And those levels are based upon what? On your deeds. Does that make sense? Right? Go ahead.
I want to ask about that. I read from a book that Ya'juj and Ma'juj is just symbolic of people who will destroy this world. Is it true?
No, it's not symbolic. Some people, they say that Ya'juj and Ma'juj is figurative. They say Ya'juj and Ma'juj is smallpox. They say Ya'juj and Ya'juj is like AIDS. It's like sexually transmitted diseases which, basically wreak havoc in society. That's not true. Ya'juj and Ma'juj are real beings, real human beings who Allah has created to basically wreak havoc on the earth, to the point that the Prophet described them in the hadith saying what? They'll walk on the earth and they'll what? Drink from water in their what? In their hands. Is that smallpox? Is that possible to be smallpox? See what I'm saying? And what happens is that this comes from what? A weakness in the belief in what? Al-Ghaib. It's so sad that what basically as Muslims, especially those who have come to the West and studied in the West, whether that be in Europe or in America or in Canada, is that we become like the people in the West who are so basically deceived and so engulfed and so engrossed in what? Al-Mahsusat. What they call the things you can touch and feel, the things that can be basically realized by the senses. So anything I can't touch it, I can't smell it, I can't feel it, I can't taste it, I don't believe in it. And unfortunately Muslims become what? Because of their intermingling with these people, they become affected by this. So they start to question things that the Prophet said. And this is not proper. We accept what the Prophet said as he said it. And we know what's going to happen because he's what? He's a Sadiq al-Masduq. He's the one who was truthful, and the truth was conveyed to him. And he doesn't speak of his own desires. Do we understand it? Necessarily? Can we fathom it? Not necessarily. But it's not necessarily necessary that we fathom what? Everything. And that's faith. Faith necessitates what? Believing in some things that you can't fathom. Does that make sense? Any other questions? Any other questions? Father?
Yeah. I see that the horn will be blown 2 times. What's the horn will be blown 2 times?
Mm-hmm.
What's the distance between the first time and the second time?
I'm not really sure. I think there might be some hadith where they specifically mention the length of time, but I'm not. It doesn't come to mind right this minute. Okay. Any other questions? Any other questions? Going once? Going twice? Gone.